Alright, you tool addicted maniacs, today we're checking out Crescent Tool's newly released quick fit adjustable wrenches. Now this isn't going to be a tool review, that's coming after I take these tools and test them in the trades. But what it is a tool preview. That's where I'm going to share with you the specifications, showcase the tools, and give you my first impressions. So let's get to it. Now, as people probably know by now, Crescent Tool invented the original Crescent wrench. That's why everybody calls the adjustable wrench a Crescent wrench. The name Crescent is synonymous with this type of tool. They've been around since the early 1900s and are probably one of the most versatile tools in the trade. Now, over the years, they have tried to reinvent and reimagine this tool. And with their latest evolution of the Crescent wrench, I think they might have hit the nail on the head. Now, just so everybody knows, I am not affiliated with the Crescent Tool Company. I actually won this two-piece set over on Instagram, so shout out to Ginger Woodworks. He was having a promotion with the Crescent Tool Company, and this is what we got. Now, the two most commonly used Crescent wrench sizes are going to be the 6 and 10. They also come in the 8 and 12 inch sizes at a variety of different locations. You'll just have to check out where you want to buy them at and go from there. The one thing I like about this particular set of wrenches is the fact that these are forged in Vietnam with a fully polished chrome finish. They do come with laser engraved standard metric scales on each side of the jaw. That's going to basically help you accurately determine the fastener or fitting size that you're working with. And I've already tested these out, and the scale is accurate on both sides. Each one of these have a tether ready tab built into the back of the handle here. Most people like taking them and hanging them on your shop wall. But that feature alone is pretty vital for any tradesman who might be at risk of dropping the wrenches whenever they're on the job site. I know plenty of linesmen, elevator technician, plumbers will get into certain situations in high-rise buildings where they'll drop it right down the hole. You got industrial maintenance technicians, HVAC guys, iron workers, anybody who has to climb up a ladder or work with height, something like that, always wants the option of being able to tie their tools down to themselves in those situations. Another thing tradesmen are going to look for is a good grip. I've been there. I've been working in factories, working with steam lines, stuff like that. You lay the tools down onto a piece of equipment that's going to get heated up. The last thing you want is to be applying force to something and then all of a sudden the comfort grip starts sliding off the wrench. Now these have a dual molded non-slip comfort grip around the handle, and it does seem to fit nice and tight around the extra wide flare beamed handle itself. And that's something that everybody wants. You want to be able to apply high torque while having premium comfort. Of course, the Crescent name and wrench size is also heat stamped into the grip that doesn't wear off. That's going to help you identify the tool in the event that you had to cash in on the lifetime warranty. Now, one of the most impressive things about this tool is how it's manufactured. I looked over both of these tools top to bottom. The precision machining on the head of this is very well made. Guides are good and parallel. The teeth for the lower jaw are very precise. And the spring-loaded worm drive here functions nice and smooth. The worm drive itself is slightly larger and it's knurled all the way around. It's got a 3-ring design that's going to basically help reduce binding. You're going to have tighter jaw fitment whenever you adjust it up to secure them in place. A lot of people don't realize this. The function of the adjustable wrench, you're supposed to secure the jaws with your thumb, apply torque to it, then you release that pressure, reposition the wrench, put it back, slide it, tighten it, turn it again. It's the original function of the Crescent wrench, how you're supposed to use it. These are also designed to offer 20% more accessing capacity due to the wider jaw and the slim head. Another thing that I find pretty cool is the fact that if you look on the outside of this wrench right here and you turn it sideways, you cannot see the worm drive. That's what they refer to as a raised surround. And it's a little bit thicker on the outside of this, that way it protects that worm drive from getting bumped during use. Nobody likes unintended jaw adjustments if you're not adjusting it yourself. So whenever you take these wrenches and you slide them in on top of a fastener and you're going to apply torque to it, it's going to help prevent it from bumping up against it and readjusting the jaw when you don't want it to. But ultimately, what makes these wrenches extra special is the quick fit jaw design itself. If you look at the very tips of these wrenches, it features angled lead ends. They're slightly contoured on the outer edge, which allows the wrench to guide you onto the fastener for better rotation and less snagging. With our traditional Crescent wrench, you don't have that right here. So whenever you go to get on a fastener or a fitting, you're going to have that rough edge that's kind of bumping up against it. You can still slide around the flat surfaces to get on it, but it's not going to be as smooth as what these are. You see, because of that angled lead end, all you got to do is push it up on there and it'll help guide you right around and in between the jaws. Once you're on that fitting, the lower jaw has a 1-degree slope. It makes it get tighter as you push it closer to the rear of that jaw. You've already got enhanced speed because of that angled lead end, and then you're going to get tighter fitment because of that 1-degree slope on the jaw. You can't really tell it unless you close the jaws together and look at it, and you'll see light around the edges of it. It almost looks like the top half has the taper, but it don't. And that's a really great design from Crescent. Anytime you're putting these wrenches on a fastener and you're putting a lot of torque on something, the lower jaw is going to push against this worm drive. It is spring-loaded right there, so you're going to have a little bit of play in it whenever it pushes down. That's usually whenever you round out a fastener because of the way it's sliding around the outer edge of the fastener. The way these are designed, when you're applying that high torque to it, kind of levels out the jaw and gives it a better incline to push the bottom half of the fastener. And what helps you the most is the fact that the upper jaw has this cutout on the back side. It's basically made that way so that you get off-corner loading. It's a similar feature that you'd have with sockets and wrenches. So basically, whenever you're sliding this on here, it's getting tighter as it goes up on the jaw because of that slope. And you're applying torque to it. If it was to start loosening up a little bit, the bottom half of the wrench will level out and start pushing while the top half of the wrench is actually pulling. It's called off-corner loading because it's basically gripping on the edge of that corner. So you're getting a push and pull effect between the bottom and top jaw. The combination of these features basically translates to more torque, less slip. It fits fast, snags less, and applies force better. Anytime force is applied, the lower jaw basically presses down, like I said, on that worm drive. And that would usually cause slippage on traditional wrenches. That's where all your rounding will end up occurring. If you was to look at the science behind this, the force is actually being applied where the turning force of the fastener is located. Even if you use this adjustable wrench, it's 10 inch in size, you use it on, let's say, a 3/4 inch fastener, the grip you get and the force that you're applying is definitely going to be better in comparison to the original Crescent wrench. I'll go ahead and tell you, all in all, I've been in and around the trades all of my life. I'm someone who has worked 2 to 3 jobs over the last 20 years. I've always been a very busy individual, and I've worked with a ton of different people and seen what types of tools that they use in the trades. So I personally know what it's like to have used the best quality wrenches ever made all the way down to the work. But I am pretty surprised about the overall quality of these quick fit adjustable wrenches from Crescent. I've honestly got to say that the evolution of the original here is pretty impressive. All in all, these are pretty well balanced. You don't got that extra thick, cheap steel that you get with other tools. Machining, symmetry, fit, finish, and function all appears to be some of the best quality that I've seen from Crescent in a very long time. And I'm talking about almost a direct comparison in quality with their old school made in the USA versions. Now again, this is not a review. I'm not saying that these are going to hold up quite as good as what the original would. I'm saying that the manufacturing quality on these is on par with professional expectations. I mean, just look at it. You put these side by side. Usually, if you're going to have a cheaply made wrench, usually these two guys right here is not going to be nice and parallel. The symmetry will be off. But in this situation, the manufacturing is on par with some of the better quality tools. You can tell that the machining is well done. You can see where they've made it nice and smooth on top. This is dead center where it's supposed to be at. It's not offset like you see with cheaper brands. Like I said, I've used tools for a very long time now, so I've got just about every type of brand you can imagine to compare these to. Head to head with the made in the USA, China, Vietnam, you name it, and I'm comparing them from one to the next. That way I can better gauge how good the manufacturing is. Now the verdict is still out on Vietnam whether or not they're going to produce some decent quality steel or not. That's why I have to take these tools and test them in the trades in a variety of different circumstances to see how well they hold up. We'll better be able to determine where these tools fit in at among all the other ones that I've used over the years. But like I said, this is some of the best quality manufacturing and machining that I've seen from Crescent in a very long time. If you want to see me test these tools in the trades, all you got to do is pop the clutch on that subscribe button and check out these social media platforms. Otherwise, I want to ask you to comment down below. If you're a professional tradesman, do-it-yourself, or doesn't matter, if you're using these tools day in and day out, I'd like to hear from you. Comment down below and tell everybody your opinions based on your experience. Times are tough right now, so when somebody is spending their hard-earned money on something, we need to know, is it worth the price point that these companies are asking for it or not? What I'm seeing, like I said, these look like some pretty good quality tools. They're definitely at a fair price point. They have the full lifetime warranty on. I'm definitely interested to see how these will match up and perform head-to-head with the original Crescent itself. If you appreciate content like this and you want real-world review, consider smashing that like button on your way out. You see, this channel is currently not monetized, and I've always told my viewers over the years that I would not monetize this channel until we got to 10,000 subscribers. That's because I want you to know, when I review tools, my opinion cannot be purchased. It must be earned. If you're someone who can appreciate that, you're probably the same kind of person who'd smack that like button on your way out. Until next time, I'm going to take these tools, test them in the trays, and get to doing that blue-collar hustle.